I think no matter what, a powerful man will simp to a woman. Therefore, a woman in every circumstance in life is superior to a man. I think
Okay.
woman is just a superior gender in general.
So what's your type?
Tall, strong, dominant,
So then wouldn't that be superior to you?
never. Any man, if you make more money than me, if you're stronger than me and you're taller than me, you'll still simp for me every single time. I
I don't really even know where to start, right? Um, listen, if you put yourself in a subordinate position to someone else, then that's on you. The results you get are the results you get. Um, in that term, like the way men look at simping, and I think the way women look at simping may be a little different. I think there are some people that get it and can kind of get like come together on their definition, but men typically look at it as in you are giving your resources, your time, your energy, money for someone that is complete undeserving, um, sort of unrepentant, and just happy to use that from you, who has no real care for you as a person, right? You're doing this because all in hopes of trying to change her mind for her to be interested in you. That's how most men look at it, and it's a very subordinate position. So yeah, you can be a man with money, with means, and put yourself in those positions, right? We look at it and we see it, but most men look at it and see it and it's like that's not the way it's supposed to be. When when you have the rhetoric of saying that one gender is better than the other, you fall into a trap, because now you start looking at things that are sort of demonstrable and saying if it's you're better because you're stronger, because you make more money. We have a society that largely is based upon sort of patriarchal ideas, right? The things that we enjoy, sports, who's the best at something else, is physicality. We watch it because of they're doing something so to this level, to this extreme, but it's usually male dominated. Men make more money on average. Again, if you want to use those categories, you're going to come up in a subordinate position. Why even play that game? Why even try to say this race is better than this one simply because? No, listen. I think we're equally important, right? I think that's kind of been my take from the longest. Before we do a deeper dive into this one, guys, continue to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss new uploads. We're still trying to do 2 a day. The saga and the streak continues. Let's watch this one again.
think no matter what, a powerful man will simp to a woman.
I think part of when men become powerful, when men understand themselves, and not that artificial pretend I just have money and I can kind of walk the talk. When men really master themselves, you find it very hard pressed for them being manipulated. And sure, when we're younger, absolutely, absolutely. Sometimes even when we're older, but these are men that were never going to be on that, for lack of a better term, king track. You were never going to be that top. And part of being on the top means about mastering yourself, about knowing your shortcomings, knowing where you fall short, and knowing when to address those things. Just recently, I had several instances at work where I had to recognize where my own ego was causing some of the friction, some of the trouble. And, I remember having a conversation with my sister, and she was just kind of like, I'm just amazed you can identify these things and lay them out as you are and know what the solution is and how you have to go about fixing these things. And I like to look at these situations, these times, as a way to temper my ego, to see, all right, this situation happened. Now it's revealing a lot of shortcomings, a lot of holes in your game, right? You got exposed and you were out of character, you were feeling this way and you felt it. People saw it. Now, is that how you want to continue to go forward with this gaping hole in your game? Or do you want to take the opportunity to say, all right, what can we do to fix this? We have the perfect opportunity where we have a constant stimulus of this issue, of this problem. How do we now say we want to temper ourselves to be better? So in the future, when this happens again, there's no hole. There's nothing to exploit. That's how men who are learning or in the process of mastering themselves on the king track, right? Someone write that down. On that king track, saying, no, I'm going to be the one who decides how I feel, how I move. I can't be pushed and pulled, poked and prodded to get off my game. Because that's usually the first thing that happens. Whenever you're going to be emotionally manipulated, We have to get you off your game because you're too good where you are. This goes for everyone, right? Genderless advice. So don't be in the comments talking about, well, the same could apply for, yeah, it's genderless, right? The first thing people try to do is get you off your game, get you on the back foot because they know you're solid and know you know how to move. But the minute I can get you second guessing, the minute I can get you frazzled, I can get you sort of emotionally out of pocket, boom, it's time to move. Now I can play my offense. No. So when you take the opportunity to make sure you are not easily manipulated and you can feel like you're solid, right? That's how I felt. Every 5 years, and this is another thing one of my good friends told me. You think you know everything. You know, at 30, you think you got it you figured out. At 35, you look back in 30 and said, I didn't have a clue what was going on. At 35, I felt like it did. Then 40 hit, and I looked back in 35 and said, wow, I thought I had it. I thought I had it. So I'm always looking forward to that, getting to that place, getting to that center, and looking back and said, wow, as good as I thought I was, I had time to actually work and perfect my game. I love that part of just growing up and being as growing as being as a man. And again, this is genderless. I don't know. I'm not speaking for women in this case because I don't know how women sort of, go about, sort of perfecting themselves. But I imagine it's a similar process. But if someone in comments wants to jump in and say something about that, I'm more than happy to learn.
Therefore, a woman in every circumstance in life is superior to a man. I think woman is just a superior gender in general.
So what's your type?
Tall, strong, dominant.
So then wouldn't that be superior to you?
Never. Any man, if you make more money than me, if you're stronger than me and you're taller than me, you'll still simp for me.
So I think this is one of those scenarios where people are going to get a wake up call later in life, right? For now, depending on the pool you're in, right? Big fish, little pond sort of scenario. That may be what is happening in your life. It could be, simply delusion talking. It could be when the cameras are out, people say what they, you know, what they wish was reality. But either way, now for men, when you encounter people that believe and move like this and think like this, right? Or you know what? To be fair, women as well. When you counter men that are saying that men are superior, the superior gender, this, yeah, cool. It's not upon you to change their mind to dissuade them of these ideas. That's fine. I don't have to disabuse you of anything. If that's how you believe, that's what you believe. That's what you believe. Cool. I'm going to take my attention. I'm going to pick up my ball. I'm going to go home. I'm going to go play somewhere else because you don't have the time, the energy to sort of sit there and try to re-educate someone onto what you believe is true for you. No, find someone that's just equally or more closely aligned to the way you think, the way you move, and go from there. Build from there. Some people need time to realign themselves closer to reality. And maybe they're going to have a very different outcome, very different life from us. Maybe she will have men continue simping for her, regardless of their station in life, regardless of the level of power, and continue to put themselves in that subordinate position. I think the rest of us that have experienced more of life see that's really not what happens, not truly what happens. The ones that are more than willing to simp for you, those are guys in your DMs. Those are the guys that have been in your DMs for the last 6 months to 3 years, talking to themselves daily or semi-daily. And those are the ones you say you don't want, right? But arguably, those are the ones you can say you're better than. But they will be there to wait for their shot to prove that they're important enough that it can be something for you. If that's what you're looking for, find in the DMs, right? There's plenty of men that's willing to simp for you. They just may not be powerful men. So if I'm off center, if I'm off kilter somewhere, let me know down in the comments. If you agree, disagree, also let me know down in the comments. And if you see another video on your screen, take a look. And you know what? Let me know what you think down in those comments. And again, lastly, if you're hearing the sound of my voice, you have subscribed, killing me. Come on, right? We're putting in work. We're trying to have high level conversations and sometimes try to have fun with silly videos. I think the last string of videos we've been doing for the last 2-3 days have been a little more nuanced, right? So we can have more dialogue, more back and forth. But we'll sprinkle in some nonsense here and there again. I'll see you guys in the next one.